Rob Ford was outright wise after Toronto Council strips his powers. CNN embattled Mayor Rob Ford vowed outright war after Toronto's City Council voted to strip him of most of his powers. Monday is a tumultuous meeting during which a charging Ford knocked down one of its members. Nearly 2 weeks after Ford admitted to smoking crack cocaine in a drunken stupor, an admission forced by a drug probe that resulted in extortion charges against a friend. The mayor said he was done apologizing. He called Monday's vote a coup d'etat and compared to Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in 1990s, warning council members what goes around comes around, friends. If you think American-style politics is nasty, you guys have just attacked Kuwait. He said to groans and laughter in the council chambers, and you will never see something. Mark my words, my friends, this is going to be outright war in the next election, and I am going to do everything in my power to beat you guys. Undeterred, the council voted 36-5 to slash the budget of the mayor's office and transfer most of his duties to the deputy mayor. City Councilor Karen Stintz said Ford doesn't understand the issues he's facing, and Monday's votes reduced him to a figurehead. We are a great city. We are a great city. And the reality is Mayor Ford does not represent the face of the city, Stintz said. We are taking the steps we're taking to give the deputy mayor and powers and the responsibility and the staff to exercise the functions that the mayor no longer can. The council already has called on Ford to take a leave of absence and vote to strip him of his emergency powers last week. In Monday's session, Ford and his brother, City Councilor Doug Ford, sparred with hecklers in the council gallery who chant "Shame, shame, shame" during a recess. During that break, Rob Ford stomped over to his brother, knocking down Councilor Pam MC Connell in the process, an apparently accidental act for which the mayor had to issue another apology. MC Connell suffered a fat slip. Her colleague, Councilor Paula Fletcher, told Ford. Fletcher demanded an apology from the mayor, who said the collusion happened when he rushed to my brother's defense. I apologize to anybody that I accidentally hit when my brother was in an altercation over there, Rob Ford said. I'm asking you to apologize to Councilor MC Connell, Fletcher replied. Absolutely, Ford replied. It was a complete accident, and I do sincerely apologize to you, Councilor MC Connell. Apologies have become a matter of routine for Ford since his November 5th admission that he once used crack. He is now battling other allegations of excessive drinking and abusing staffers that have emerged during the drug probe, which has not resulted in charges against the mayor so far. Ford has admitted to drinking too much and has pledged to restrain his consumption of alcohol, but he's denied other accounts of public intoxication and the physical and verbal abuse of staffers. Thursday, he answered a female aide's allegation that he sought to perform oral sex with graphic language of his own, stunning the reporters who surrounded him and prompting another apologetic news conference. Ford says he didn't lie about crack use, and he was refused to step down, insisting he would let voters of Canada's largest city decide on whether to keep him next year. He still appears to have instant support in his home turf in the blue-collar northwestern precincts of Toronto, where supporters cheered him on over the weekend. Monday's vote came hours before the debut of Ford Nation, a show he and his brother now host on Canada's Sun TV News network. On the show, Ford said he hadn't had a drink in 3 weeks and was working on losing as much as 40 pounds. If Council wants to strip all my powers, do whatever they want to do, he said. I disagree with it, but you know what? They have their rights. I think it's wrong. I think it's illegal, but people are going to have their say on October 27. I'm feeling great, 'cause again, I know what I'm doing is right for the taxpayers, he added. In an attempt to head off Monday's votes, Doug Ford introduced a separate measure calling for early elections instead. It was ruled out of order. There are 383,000 people who voted for the mayor, and a lot of those people vote for each one for you, too, he said. They wouldn't want the mayor to take that right off each one of you, and it's the same for the mayor. But Councillor Raymond Cho said Rob Ford, who has touched his expansion of Toronto's subway system and vowed to derail what he calls the gravy train of city government, was running both a gravy train and a crazy train. Opinion: is that an addict standing next to you? He needs up, and I said that many times, but he didn't accept it, Cho said. This is the only route that I have to choose, and I leave up to the individual councillors their decision, and I hope we made the right decision. Deputy Mayor Norm Kelly, who inherits much of Ford's authority now, said he hadn't spoken to the mayor Monday evening, and given the bellicosity of his concluding remarks, I think it is wise to wait for some time. Ford is a man of contrast. We played football. We both coached football, and hopefully using football as a metaphor, we can talk about strategies and tactics on a go-forward basis, Kelly said. But the key right now, I think, is to let him settle down, seek advice from others, at least others that he listens to, because he hasn't listened to us that well over the past few weeks, and then talk together privately and see where it goes from there. But Kelly said that if Ford continues to get in the way of good government, the city could ask Ontario's provincial government to remove him completely. Ford says he didn't lie about crack use. Toronto CNN. Toronto Mayor Rob Ford would have admitted to smoking crack cocaine long before his eventual admission, he says. It's just that no one asked him the right question. After more than 5 months of denials, Ford admitted that he had indeed smoked crack in a drunken stupor about a year ago. The admission came amid a drug investigation that has led to charges against a friend and occasional driver, though not so far against Ford himself. In a weekend interview with CNN, the leader of Canada's largest city repeated his insistence that he would remain in office and let voters decide his fate next year, and he defended his earlier denials, saying he never lied to reporters who asked about his drug use. If someone would have came up to me and said, "Have you ever smoked crack? Have you ever smoked weed?" I would have said, "Yeah, I have," Ford said. But when you come and accuse me of being a crack addict and say, "Do you smoke crack?" No, I don't. Have I? Yeah. Okay. Have I drank? Have I acted like an idiot when I drank? Yeah, I did. Ford said he's not a drug addict. He said his conduct was absolutely wrong, but added, "I am moving on." A man of contrast, Ford leads his nation in controversy. Speaking at a weekend toy drive in the blue-collar city council district that his brother Doug now represents, Ford said he was sick and tired of all the allegations and all this bullshit. "Sorry, kids, I shouldn't have sworn in front of the kids," he said. "But after a while, I know what I'm doing is right. I'm serving people. I'm saving taxpayers' money. And you know what? I made mistakes. I drank too much. I smoked some crack sometime. What can I say? I made a mistake. I'm human." The Toronto Star has reported that Ford was asked countless times whether he had used drugs while mayor, without an answer. Ford accused the newspaper of mounting a vendetta against him on behalf of his rich and elitist political opponent. Ford was elected to a 4-year term in 2010 and has touted tax cuts and streamlined government under his administration. But while he's often characterized as conservative, Doug Ford said his brother is a huge, massive social liberal who loves U.S. President Barack Obama. Reporter's notebook. In the heart of Ford Nation with embattled mayor, Rob Ford added, "My specialty is taking care of people that have been totally ignored their whole life, and I'm not going to stop doing it." Since his November 5 admission, Documents released by a court have outlined more allegations of drug use, drunkenness, and alleged verbal and physical abuse of aides. In the course of answering those allegations on Thursday, he denied a female staffer's allegation that he sought to perform oral sex with graphic language of his own, stunning reporters and leading to another apology. On Wednesday, Toronto's City Council called for him to take a leave of absence. On Friday, the council voted to strip him of his ability to govern in an emergency and to appoint and admit committee chairs. Monday, members are expected to take up a measure that would delegate duties not assigned by statute to the mayor, efficiently stripping Ford of most of his responsibilities. But in the northwestern neighborhood of Rexdale, a diverse community in the heart of the Ford Nation, the mayor and his brother were met with cheers by the knot of well-wishers who joined him at the toy drive. "The people love you," one woman told him. Ford apologized for a loud remark. Get TV show. Amnesty International quarter-life with migrant worker abuse before World Cup. CNN as Qatar goes on a construction blitz ahead of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Much of the new infrastructure will be built by migrant workers, and given Qatar's track record, that's cause for major concern, a human rights group says. A new report from Amnesty International finds that worker abuse is rife in Qatar's construction sector. The report, called "The Dark Side of Migration," says some workers endure excessive and often dangerous working hours, squalid living conditions, and have their payments withheld. One manager referred to workers as cattle. The report is based on interviews with 210 workers, 22 companies, and government officials. It includes investigations into companies subcontracted by major organizations, including the government's Qatar Foundation and South Korean group Hyundai Engineering and Construction. Amnesty said its researchers witnessed 11 men signing papers before government officials, falsely claiming they had received all payments and benefits to allow them to leave the country. It is simply inexcusable in one of the richest countries in the world that so many migrant workers are being ruthlessly exploited, deprived of their pay, and left struggling to survive. Amnesty International Secretary General Sally Shetty said. The report also questions the safety standards on construction sites, citing a report from Doha's main hospital that says more than 1,000 people were admitted to the trauma unit last year after falling from heights. Then then persons were disabled as a result, according to that report. Qatar's Ministry of Labor has not responded to CNN's request for comments. Most workers are migrants. Qatar has the highest ratio of migrants to citizens in the world, according to UN Special Rapporteur Francois Crepio. About 94% of workers in Qatar are migrants. The United Nations International Labour Organization said. The Amnesty report follows a visit to Doha by Crepio in November to review worker standards. His preliminary findings called for abolishing the kafala system, which ties workers to a single employer. Under kafala, workers cannot change jobs without permission from employers. Crepio also called for a minimum wage for all workers. Qatar responds to accusations. In response to Amnesty's allegations, the director of the Human Rights Department at Qatar's Foreign Ministry said laws are in place to protect workers from mistreatment. In the event that the Ministry of Labor becomes aware that the employer has not adhered to the contract, then it will take all legal means and measures against the employer, the agency wrote to Amnesty. But Amnesty and other human rights groups have cited lack of enforcement as a key problem. This isn't the first time Qatar's working conditions for migrants have come under fire. After a report in the UK's Guardian newspaper that likened such conditions to modern-day slavery, Qatar's Ministry of Labor issued a number of reforms in October. Those changes include doubling the number of labor site inspectors, increasing the number of labor branch offices, and increasing the number of translators to seek communication with workers. Amnesty said it remains improving living standards, revising Qatar's labor laws, reforming the sponsorship system, and removing the X permit, according from a sponsor to leave the country. Qatar's Ministry of Labor will set up a website for those seeking jobs in Qatar to ensure that there will no longer be any discrepancy between the job the worker has signed up for in his country from that signed in Qatar, the Foreign Ministry said. And the Qatar 2022 Supreme Committee, which oversees Qatar's World Cup plans, said Monday that it will release new workers' welfare standards regarding recruitment, pay, housing, and repatriation policies for foreign workers by the end of this year. The standards, it said, will be again elegant with Qatar law and international the Qatar 2022 Supreme Committee, which oversees Qatar's World Cup plans, said Monday that it will release new workers' welfare standards regarding recruitment, pay, housing, and repatriation policies for foreign workers by the end of this year. The standards, it said, will be aligned with Qatari law and international best practice. It said that it held a productive discussion with Amnesty International over the weekend about worker treatment and agreed to continue talks in the run-up to the event. The committee also said all contracts related to its project will be enshrined in the Qatar 2022 Workers' Charter to protect workers' rights. FIFA defended its decision to hold the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. FIFA firmly believes in the positive power that the FIFA World Cup can have in Qatar and in the Middle East as a group opportunity for the region to discover football as a platform for positive social change, including an improvement of labor rights and conditions for migrant workers, the International Football Association said in a statement to CNN. The state of Qatar is aware of various issues and has already started to react. FIFA has been informed by the Qatari authorities that the labor laws and labor system will be amended, a process which has already started. Dallas Zoo lion kills lioness in front of visitors. CNN. A lion at the Dallas Zoo bit and killed a lioness in their exhibit as visitors watched Sunday afternoon in an attack officials said they couldn't immediately explain. The 5-year-old lioness Johari was bitten in the neck by one of the male lions in her pride around 2:15 p.m., the zoo said. Dozens of zoo visitors saw the attack. CNN affiliates WFAA and KTXA reported. At first, you think they're playing, and then you realize he's killing her, and you're watching it, and you just can't believe your eyes. Witness Michelle Henshaw told WFAA. The male lion that started it just had his mouth over her throat, and everyone thought they were playing at first. Witness Jim Havry told WFAA. But then they could see she was struggling. The zoo said Johari died quickly. Witness Dylan Parker told WFAA that the attacking lion held Johari by the neck for like 10 minutes, waiting until it quit moving. The zoo said its keepers closed the exhibit after the incident and took the attacker and 3 other lions, his brother and Johari's 2 sisters, off the habitat. Lynn Kramer, a veterinarian and the zoo's vice president of animal operations and welfare, said the attack was a very rare and unfortunate occurrence. In my 35 years as a The veterinarian in zoos. I've never seen this happen, he said. The 2 surviving lionesses were expected to be put back onto the habitat on Monday, the zoo said. The zoo said the male lions won't be in the exhibit with the lioness for now, WFAA reported. Zoo staff said it wasn't clear why the attack happened, according to WFAA. Cougar kills keeper at Oregon Sanctuary.